Today, we're tackling a question that sparked debates across the Philippines. Why does this nation of 115 million people, rich in talent and resources, struggle to keep up with its Asian neighbors? From economic growth to geopolitical influence, countries like South Korea, Vietnam, and even Indonesia have surged ahead. So, what's holding the Philippines back? Let's dive into the data, the politics, and the hard truths. In 2023, the Philippines' GDP per capita was around $4,000, far below Singapore's $88,000, South Korea's $34,000, and even Vietnam's $4,300. But numbers only tell part of the story. To understand why, we need to unpack three key issues: economic inequality, political instability, and geopolitical limbo. First, let's talk money. The Philippines isn't poor. It's a middle-income country with a booming tech sector and a young English-speaking workforce. But growth hasn't translated to equality. Over 20% of Filipinos live below the poverty line, and the gap between rich and poor is one of Asia's worst. The Philippines relies too heavily on remittances from overseas workers, $40 billion a year. That's 10% of GDP. But it masks weak industrialization and job creation at home. Compare that to Vietnam, which transformed into a manufacturing powerhouse by attracting foreign investment. The Philippines? It's stuck in a cycle of low productivity, red tape, and infrastructure gaps. Projects like the program under Duterte faced delays and corruption scandals, leaving highways half-finished and ports outdated. Cut to graphic side-by-side FDI, foreign direct investment charts. Vietnam, $18 billion, versus Philippines, $9 billion in 2023. Next, let's talk power. The Philippines is a democracy, but critics argue it's dominated by traditional politicians from dynasties that prioritize clan interests over national progress. The same families have ruled for decades, perpetuating graft and short-term thinking. Take the under Duterte. While popular with some, it drew global condemnation and scared off investors. Now, President Bongbong Marcos, son of former President Ferdinand Marcos, faces scrutiny over whether old elites can truly reform a broken system. Until we fix corruption and hold leaders accountable, we'll keep falling behind. Finally, the Philippines is caught in a geopolitical tug-of-war. For years, Duterte cozied up to China for loans and infrastructure deals, downplaying the South China Sea dispute. But under Marcos Jr., the pendulum has swung back towards the United States, with expanded military bases and joint drills. This flip-flopping sends mixed signals to investors. Meanwhile, neighbors like Vietnam and Indonesia strike a neutral balance, securing deals with both East and West. The Philippines? It's struggling to define its role, and that uncertainty costs growth. The Philippines needs a clear long-term strategy. Picking sides isn't enough. It needs to leverage its alliances for tech, trade, and climate resilience. But it's not all doom and gloom. The Philippines has untapped potential. Its BPO sector is a global leader, its young population is tech-savvy, and its diaspora sends home not just cash but skills and ideas. President Marcos Jr. is pushing for renewable energy and digital upgrades. If he tackles corruption, invests in education, and stabilizes foreign policy, the Philippines could finally turn the corner. We have the talent. What we need is a government that trusts us to innovate. So is the Philippines doomed to lag behind? Or is this the calm before a comeback? Let me know your thoughts below. If you want more deep dives into Asia's rise and fall, hit subscribe and ring the bell. Thanks for watching. And remember, progress starts with asking the hard questions. See you next time.